Broadly speaking, there are two types of payment system instruments in the economy, namely cash and non-cash. The cash instrument consists of banknotes and coins. Meanwhile, non-cash instruments exist in the form of paper-based, card-based, or in the form of electronic payment. Check and Bank Indonesia Clearing Payment Order or Billiat Giro are non-cash paper-based instruments issued by commercial banks. To obtain check and Billiat Giro, a customer must first own an account in a particular bank. In order to understand the use of check and Billiat Giro as the payment instruments, let's take a look at Danny, a shop owner who is running a textile business.
Good morning, Mr. Denny.
Good morning.
Mr. Denny, we have outstanding bills from PT Benang and PT Ratu, two of our partners. PT Benang has asked that their payment should be made immediately, while the payment for PT Ratu will due in 3 weeks. Both of them want us to transfer the fund, and they are scheduled to come today to receive the payment.
Okay then, I will pay the PT Benang with check. In the meantime, the payment for PT Ratu will be paid in Bank Indonesia Clearing Payment Order or Billiat Giro.
Okay, thank you.
Now, Danny will write a check for PT Benang because the payment should be made immediately.
Hello, I'm Mr. Check. I'm a non-conditional warrant letter to pay an amount of money from the customer to the depository bank and serves as a negotiable securities. Danny, do you know that there are two types of check? First, order check is a check that includes the name of the beneficiary and the bank will make payment to the name written on the check. Secondly, check to bearer is a check that does not include the beneficiary's name and the bank will make payment to anyone who carries the check. I was governed by the Code of Commercial Law. Danny, do you know that I could be called a check only if all the formal requirements are met? Okay, let me explain to you. Formal requirements for a check consist of 1. There is a word check on the check sheet, which indicates this is a check. 2. Unconditional command to pay certain amount of money. The amount should be written both in letters and numbers. One thing should be taken into account in writing the nominal is, if there are differences between the amount written in letter and number, the amount written in letter will be applied. 3. Name of the withdrawn bank or paying bank that should pay. 4. The designation in which payment must be done. 5. Date and place that points out when and where the check is issued. 6. The signature of the check issuer. Do you understand now? Danny, you must remember that every writing correction on the check must be signed. Now, let me review again, Danny. A check that does not meet one or more elements of formal terms does not apply as check. Moreover, check also has a validity period, which is A. 70 days from the date of issuance. Within 70 days, the check cannot be cancelled. B. Expiry date of check is 6 months from the date of issuance. After 6 months, the check can be cancelled by the drawer. If you want your check to be paid via fund transfer, you should draw two parallel lines at the left end. This check, also known as a cross check. Additionally, if you want to negotiate a check to bearer or order check that has been published to another party, then this mechanism should be followed. Order check can be negotiated by means of 1. Put the assigner's signature and put the next holder's name on the back on the check sheet. This process also known as the endorsement of on-behalf check. 2. In case of order check and the carrier listed on the check cancelled by the issuer, then the check transfer can be done by issuing right transfer agreement or CEC between the beneficiary, whose name is mentioned in the check sheet, to the next recipient. Meanwhile, check to bearer can be handed directly to the other party. Hello, I am Mr. Billiat Giro, commonly called
Mr. BG. I am a warrant from the customer to the depository bank to transfer some funds from the customer account to other account whose name is mentioned. Danny, just like my friend Mr. Check, I could be mentioned as Billiard Giro when all formal requirements are met. Do you understand? Okay, let me explain then. The formal requirements of Billiard Giro are: 1. There is a text of Billiard Giro on Billiard Giro sheet which indicates this is a Billiard Giro. 2. There is the drawer name. 3. There is a clear and unconditional command to transfer funds at the expense of the drawer's account. 4. The name and the account number of the account holder. 5. The name of beneficiary bank. 6. The amounts of funds to be transferred, both in numbers and in letters. 7. There is the place and date of the withdrawal. Lastly, there should be signature and name of the withdrawal and/or equipped with a seal or stamp in accordance with the requirements for opening an account. Now, do you understand, Danny? If you already know, please fill me up. Remember, Danny, Billiard Giro that does not comply with one or more formal terms does not apply as the Giro. Danny, at any time there is a correction of the inscription on the Billiard Giro sheet, you must sign it, okay? In case the correction is not signed, Billiard Giro can be rejected. And one more thing, if there are differences in the nominal amount written in numbers with the amount written in letters, the amount written in letters will be applied. So, Danny, in the use of Billiard Giro, you should pay attention to these things. A. The date of withdrawal, which is the date on which Billiard Giro issued. B. The effective date, which is the date of the transfer order started to be effective. The determination of the effective date must be within the time it's offered, which is not more than 70 days since the date of withdrawal. C. Giro's expiry date calculated 6 months after the expiration, starting from the date of expiry of the Billiard Giro's offer. Danny, do not forget that if there are changes to the Giro, the issuer must sign it. Danny, do you know that you must provide funds since the effective date that is written on the Billiard Giro sheet? Then the date of withdrawal acts as the effective date.
Sir, the guest has arrived.
Well, ask them to come to my office.
Okay.
The officer of PT Benang brought Mr. Check to the same bank with the bank listed on the check sheet to be disbursed in cash, or we call it over the counter. Prior to the disbursement, the bank will check and confirm the identity of the check issuer. Check fund will be disbursed immediately when it is drawn on a bank listed on the check sheet. If the withdrawal is made at a different bank, the clearing process will be conducted in advance. Meanwhile, officer of PT Ratu brought the Billiard Giro to the different bank written on the Billiard Giro sheet. Prior to the disbursement, the bank will check the identity of the carrier and confirm Billiard Giro. Billiard Giro fund is disbursed by means of transferring funds, so it is not in the form of cash. Because the withdrawal is made at a different bank, the clearing process will be conducted in advance. Check. There is only one date as the date of withdrawal. Check to bearer is also a cash payment instrument. Post-dated check is not allowed. Negotiable. It can be withdrawn in cash or in balance transfer. It is a securities. Billiard Giro. There are two dates applied for Billiard Giro, namely the date of withdrawal and the effective date. It can only be negotiated to the recipient's name and account number. It is known for its effective date. Non-negotiable. It cannot be withdrawn in cash. It is not securities.